Hello lovely people and welcome back to this week's new video. I'm actually doing a 5-star book predictions video. I was a little bit skeptical on hopping onto this trend because I wasn't sure if I would find any books. I feel like picking books that you think would be 5 stars was kind of difficult for me. I've read 48 books in 2020 and I've only had 3 5-star reads, so I'm a little bit scared. I do have 5 books to talk to you guys about today and hopefully they will be 5-star reads. I do hope to finish reading the 5 books that I talk about in today's video within this year and then do a reaction video. So the first book is actually a graphic novel. I don't know how everyone is reading it, maybe like ARCs. It was always never available on the library, like it wasn't within the database. I don't know if it's because it's a British book, but it's Heartstoppers by Oseman. This book follows 2 boys. Charlie is in year 10 and he is openly gay, but he's actually being bullied less, and he even has a boyfriend who is actually kind of mean and doesn't want to like be seen together in public. And then there's Nick, who is a athlete, a hotshot on the rugby team. He is in year 11 or something, and they're put together in something called a form group. I don't know, I'm American. And they quickly become really good friends. Then Charlie starts to develop feelings for Nick. I know this book is really popular and just really heartfelt and cute, so I'm hoping that this will be a good way to ease into some 5-star reads. The next book is a book that I own and have been wanting to read for a while. It was also published this year, and it is Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. This is the second book in the Wild series. The first book is The Simple Wild, and I gave that book I think 4 or 4.5 stars, and I really debated between wanting to give it 5 stars or not, so I'm hoping that the second book will give me some kind of closure. After returning to her life in Toronto, Calla is very surprised when Jonah shows up at her front door and gives her a proposition. He's like, hey, you should come back to Alaska with me. Calla couldn't refuse, and she really did miss Jonah, so she goes back to Alaska and realizes there she had all these high expectations for such a happy future with Jonah, and yet she gets there and everything doesn't really go as she was planning or expecting to, and she is afraid that she is just following in her mother's footsteps of a doomed future in Alaska. I really did enjoy the first book, and it's weird because I ordered the books at the same time, but this paper is made really differently. But I also did want to read this in the reading rush, the stay-at-home reading rush. I wanted to film this video, get it up before the reading rush, and hopefully get to it during the reading rush and give it 5 stars. The next book is a chunky one, and it's been in the series that I have been reading for a while. I haven't been reading it back to back because they are so dense, and that is A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. This is the 4th book in the A Song of Ice and Fire, or the Game of Thrones series. As you may know, I did watch the series and I've been reading the books since maybe 2 years ago, but I haven't read one in a very long time. I don't even remember if I read the 3rd book. I think I only read 1 book, the 3rd one, in 2019, so I do want to get to at least one of them each year. I don't really want to talk about this book because I feel like if you're a fan, you're going to get through the series anyway. I mean, there are obviously things that are happening in this book, but it's the 4th book, so it might ruin that, so it should be surrounding like the 4th season, or the 3rd and the 4th season. I think I have been giving the series, each book in the series, 5 stars, but of course it is very dense and a lot is happening and it's very slow going. I also heard that the 4th one doesn't include a lot of the main characters, like Sansa or something doesn't really have her own narration in this, so we'll see. The next book is actually also coming out this year. I've already pre-ordered it. It comes out in August, I believe, and it's The Bride Bet by Tessa. This is the 4th book in the Girl Meets Duke series, which I really loved. Nicola and the Duke of Westley made a pact when they were younger to basically be each other's backup plan. They said that in a decade, if they were both single, they would get married. And fast forward a decade later, they're both single, and the Duke ends up showing up to Nicola's door and he's like, hey, I know you're single, we're gonna get married. He needs an heir as a Duke. She's trying to do everything she can to change his mind, but he has no plans of doing so. So I feel like this is going to be really hysterical. I enjoyed all of Tessa Dare's books. A lot of them I have given 5 stars. My second second 5-star read of the year was a book by her, so I'm definitely excited for this one. I can't wait till August when it comes. And the last book that I have for you is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This book I've actually apparently read before on Goodreads. I'm pretty sure it was like summer of 2015 or 2016, and my sister had brought this to camp, but I don't remember reading this. Like, I remember the plot of it, but I don't remember what happened at all. And I have enjoyed Gone Girl, and her book that I read this year, The Grown-Ups, it's a short story, it's 64 pages. So I figured, you know, why not give this a try? I'm a huge thriller fan. The main character, Camille, is a journalist, and she's back from a brief stay in a psych hospital, and she comes back with a new assignment, and she must investigate the death of 2 girls in her hometown. 2 preteen girls were murdered, and while Camille is looking into it, she is staying at her old family home, and she doesn't really get along with her family, and she has a half-sister or a younger sister, I think, who she doesn't really get along with or isn't close to at all. So she is staying in her old bedroom and looking into the murder to report on, and she's just finding herself to be relating to these 2 young girls a little bit too much. My bad. I needed to come back because this is actually 6 books. I forgot about a book. I like wrote all my notes out, and I forgot that I have this one, Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver, that I had very, very high expectations for. I thoroughly enjoyed her first book, One Day in December. It was a real sob fest for me. I just really liked Josie Silver's writing. It was easy, fell in love with all the characters, and so this is her second book. I knew I had to pick it right away for book of the month. I do have a code down below for a free book for your first month, I believe. Always down below. It is a subscription service where they send you a book a month. You can pick out of the 5 that they have for the month, or if you don't enjoy any of those, or if you're not interested in any of those, you can pick another one of their books. They're all custom made for book of the month, like so. And this way I can definitely discover new books that I otherwise never would have heard of or picked up. So this is The Two Lives of Lydia Bird, and Lydia and Freddie are so in love, and they've been together for over 10 years until on Lydia's 28th birthday, Freddie tragically dies in a horrific car accident. She is so depressed and doesn't want to live her life anymore. Then she knows that Freddie wouldn't have wanted that for her, and that he would have wanted her to live a happy and full life. So she enlists the help of Freddie's best friend Jonah, another Jonah, and the help of her sister Elle to help her, you know, rediscover the world and find some sort of happiness again. But then something inexplicable happens in which she can enter a doorway or something, which she basically has a chance at her life with Freddie again. In this alternate timeline, I guess, Freddie never died. And so it says that she is pulled again and again through a doorway to her past, living 2 lives impossibly at once. And when she has to pick between the 2 lives, one in which she is with Freddie, the love of her life, and the other one in which Freddie is dead, and she found someone who could possibly give her the same sort of happiness that she had with Freddie, who does she pick, or which life does she pick? The only reason why this is on here is because I have super high expectations for this, because I thoroughly enjoyed her first book and I gave it 5 stars, so hopefully this doesn't let me down. So yes, this was a super quick video. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I get to these books this year. I'm excited to be able to see my own reaction to how well I might know myself. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.